Lying back, please make yourself comfortable with a bolster underneath your knees. If you don't have a bolster, pile up some blankets because you'll need it for this particular practice. Letting your eyes close, breathe down into your lower lungs. Let your shoulders drop, eyes and ears relax. You might just gently roll your head from one side to the other, feeling the back of your skull being massaged by the ground, like soft clay being molded by a firm surface. The bones of your skull gently exhale. I love to think of the bones of the skull like the way ice breaks up, that gentle shifting of flows away from each other. Bend your knees when you're ready. Can you tuck the bolster up underneath your bum? This posture with your knees bent, feet on the floor, is an adrenal restoration pose, something about having the hips elevated like this, eyes closed, feet in contact with the ground, knees bent. I think it's maybe the way that as we breathe, we so directly contact those adrenal glands that are sitting on top of the kidneys, right at where the respiratory diaphragm connects with your ribs. Draw your right knee in when you're ready, tucking your chin lightly in. Could you stretch your left leg long along your mat? You don't need to yank your right leg in, just softly bend your elbows. Let the knee gently go from one side to the other, giving a little bit of a massage to the groin and the inner thigh. Bend your left knee. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, stretching your right foot up. Could you circle your foot at your ankle? Both directions. Teeth unclench. Flex. Press your left leg long again. Can you feel each heel in opposition to the other extending? Shoulders down. Breathe. Bend both of your knees. Let your right ankle sit in front of your left thigh. Press your right knee away from you, a gentle rotation, inner thigh toward quads. Can you draw your knees up into your chest, but I only want you to hold on to your right foot and your right knee. So the left leg is like a free agent, a dead weight to that right ankle. Hold your knee, hold your foot. Now press the bones of the pelvic floor toward the bottom of the mat. Can you hold your right leg where it is, exactly where it is? Put your left foot back on the floor. The knee is bent. Bring that right heel up to knee level. Don't let it drop too far down. Take your right leg ever so slightly to the left across the midline of your body, pushing your right sitting bone really long. Feel your low back decompress. This might be too much, but if you can extend your left leg again, you're going to get an even thicker plot line. Unclench those teeth. And just bend that left knee again, no big deal. Bring your knees into your chest, side by side. Stretch your feet and your arms to the sky, just like zombie arms and legs. Sway to the right and to the left, almost like seaweed in the water. Relaxing it through. Bend your knees. Could you catch your ankles as the soles of your feet come together? Your knees go wide. You might pull your ankles towards you as your elbows push into the inner knees. And then bring your left knee to your chest and let your right leg extend long. Deepen the fold of your body on the left side, pubic bone reaching long. Draw your left knee gently in and do a little bit of side to side with that left leg. Checking in with the hip socket, specifically the groin. Breathe. Bend your right knee, interlace fingers behind your left thigh, stretch your left leg up. Twirl your left foot at the ankle, stretching through the fascia of the shin and the calf. And make sure you do those circles in both directions. Push your hip into the bolster. Go to a flexed position when you're ready, toes down, heel away, and then slide your right leg down the mat. Feel that deep extension through your hip flexors on your right leg, hamstrings on your left leg. Shoulders down. Bend your left knee, resting your ankle in front of your right thigh. The left leg is in external rotation. Draw your legs up into your chest, catching hold of your left foot and your left knee. In a way, you're steering the left knee away from you because you want to draw the ankle and the knee equally close to your body. Push the bones of the pelvic floor really long. Let's see about that right foot coming back to the floor. The knee is bent. Keep that left heel up at knee level as you take your left leg ever so slightly to the right, pushing long through your left sitting bone. Really deepening that fold. Would it be tolerable to extend your right leg straight, or is that too much? Respect your limitations. Breathe. Come back in. Bring your knees to your chest. Stretch your feet and your hands to the sky. Twirl your feet, twirl your hands at your wrists. Just getting your blood flowing. Make sure you go in both directions. Let's catch hold of the feet this time as you go into cobbler's pose, so your hands are around the outsides of your feet. Then hold your big toes, knees wide. Take your right leg, reach it over to the right side. Keep your left leg in that half cobbler's pose, femur into back of thigh. Breathe it through. Press that heel away. Bending your knee, soles the feet together for a moment. Left leg extending playfully out to the left side. Keep holding the big toe, femur into back of thigh. Push out through the back of your heel. Unclench your teeth. Breathe. Back in we go. Release your feet. One foot to the ground, followed by the other. There's your adrenal restoration pose again. Feel the seismic shifts in your body as you integrate the stretches. Shift your body over to the right so that you can be on the left hip. The left hip is up on the bolster. Left arm is your pillow. Your knees are bent beyond the bolster. Right hand on the floor in front of your chest. Stretch your right arm slowly up overhead, and maybe your left arm as well. You could interlace your fingers and pull your hands away. Take your top leg, extend it down, and feel that stretch along the side wall of your body. Breathe that through. Could you press the heel of your left hand away? Roll your right toes up to the sky, twisting the head of the femur in the hip socket for a moment. Try to keep your hips stacked. Breathe. Big exhale. It's a doozy, this one. Could you roll your right shoulder back of your head toward the floor as you keep pressing that right heel away? Keep stretching your hands away. They don't have to be interlaced. They just stretch away. Breathe. Extend. Lengthen. Surrender. You should feel that really deeply in the right abdomen. even in the quads. Start to roll back over onto your left side, bending the knee, right hand in front of you again. Breathe. Pushing the right hand into the floor, can you come up onto both of your hands? They're on the mat. The bolster is in your waist. So you're a little bit lower, or the bolster is a little bit higher in the waist instead of the hip bone. You start to rock your upper body forward and back. Your knees are still bent. The left arm, your pillow. As you rock forward and back, just getting a sense of the tension that sits around your lower ribs, your thorax, massaging it out. Can you keep rocking even as your right arm stretches above your head? Feel that increased stretch in the underarm. Can you roll back? What if the back of your head touched the floor and then almost forehead to the floor when you come forward? Make this more than it needs to be. When you roll back again, just stay there for a couple of breaths. You might need to shift on your bolster. If it's sort of clumpy under your back, you just shift a little bit more to the divot in the center. Squeeze your knees together, open your chest wide. And breathe. Pull your ribs down, heart opens. Rolling slowly back over to your left side. Again, right hand pushes into the floor so that you can come up with your hands on the mat. Exhale, round your back. Arms are pretty straight. Dip forward and through. Round back, really like a cat rounding. Come forward. Round again. Dip forward. Now look over your left shoulder this time. Can your elbows go out to either side as you stack your hands? You drape your solar plexus over the bolster, the right cheekbone on your top hand. As you exhale, focus on your right elbow shifting slightly forward to feel the stretch diagonally from left sacrum to right shoulder blade. Feel the breath across your back. Maybe your right hand could walk forward, reaching away from your shoulder. Maybe your right leg could extend down your mat and slightly back toward what is now the left side of your mat. Sometimes I use my bottom foot to stabilize that top leg, digging the heel into the shin or the knee. Other times I just curl those left toes under, press the heel away. But either way, feeling a stretch across your back body, breathing into it. Slowly, right arm coming back down, right knee coming back up. Come to a lying on your back again in your adrenal restoration pose, just to feel the reconfiguration of your body. Hips up on bolster, knees bent, feet on the floor, eyes closed. Breathe. Just feel. Cross your right knee over your left. So this time it's really a knee over knee connection. Bring your knees towards your chest. I'd like you just to hold on to the right knee with both hands. Pull that knee into the center of your body, an internal rotation. Your right thumb could deepen the fold of your body if you want pushing into the groin. Could each hand hold an ankle? Flex your feet, but internally rotate your thighs, pull them into each other. Feel how that changes the pose. Sitting bones long, teeth unclench. Maybe pull your feet up a little bit and a little bit wider. Slowly unwind all of that. Take your legs up to the sky, give them a little stretch out before changing to the other side. So left knee in front of right. Hold that front knee, pull it into the center of your body while pushing that left sitting bone down. The left thumb could deepen that fold where thigh meets hip. And maybe one hand could hold each ankle, and maybe not. It's okay either way. It's important you feel a bit of a squish in the groin, and that you can wrap your quads into internal rotation. It really changes this cow's head posture. The heads of your femur going wide, or femurs. Press the pubic bone, tailbone, sitting bone to the bottom of your mat, really extending. And the more you flex your feet, the stronger the pose. Shoulders down. Make sure your neck is relaxed. Sometimes I just roll my head from side to side to make sure I'm not engaging there. Let's unwind that. Let your legs go. Just hug your knees into your chest side by side. And then place one foot on the floor. And then place the other foot on the floor. Come on over onto your right hip, the right hip up on the bolster. The right arm is your pillow. Knees are bent. The left arm reaches up overhead. Maybe you could interlace fingers there. Give a good pull to the left side of your body. Intensify that even more by stretching your left leg down your mat, pressing out through that heel. Feeling this really deep elongation of the fibers inside of your abdomen. Can you keep your hips stacked as you rotate your left toes up to the sky? So you're asking the femur to turn in the hip socket. If ever your knee feels like it's kind of hanging out to dry, use your other foot underneath the leg to give it support. Breathe. Could you press through the heel of your left hand, releasing the interlacing of your fingers? Could you begin to roll the back of your head toward the floor, your left shoulder blade toward the floor, pushing out through your left heel? Feel that really deep stretch into the abdomen. Breathe. Huge exhales. So hip flexors, fascially connected to the respiratory diaphragm, get breathing. As you breathe, feel almost like the reeds of those muscles, the fascia, unwinding and letting go. Push the heel away. Can we slowly roll back over to the right side, bending the knees again? Left hand to the floor in front of you. You raise yourself up slightly so that you can shift the right waist onto the bolster instead of the hip. The right arm is again your pillow as you lie down, the left hand on the floor in front of your chest. Begin to rock your upper body forward and back, a beautiful massage. We carry so much tension in this area, in and around the solar plexus and the bottom of the shoulder blades. Such a great opportunity to really massage this area. Can you keep rocking forward and back and yet also draw your left arm above your head. So now the rocking would come more into the underarm, and then you lean back of your head toward the floor. Remember this idea of opposition, that we want to pull the lower ribs down. Squeeze the knees to the right as your heart reaches up and over toward your chin, really. Let your arms elongate. Let your breathing really mobilize the areas that are so tight. Let's slowly roll back over to the right side. Your left hand again coming in front of your chest, pushing into the floor, both hands on the mat under you. Your arms are pretty straight as you round your spine, curling chin to chest. Inhale, dip forward and through, feeling the heart open. Round back, dip forward. It's almost circular. A lovely massage for your spine. Look over to the right side, elbows out, hands stack. Bring your left cheekbone onto your top hand. As you settle down over solar plexus, over the bolster, encourage your left elbow to come further forward. Squeeze the ribs as you exhale. Feel the ribs squeezing down. Left elbow reaching further. Could your left hand even stretch forward to increase this? Could your left leg, your top leg, extend down and even back to what is now the right side of your mat? You might find your bottom foot can help to stabilize that knee, or you could curl your toes under and push the heel away. It's really up to you and what feels right for you. Can you feel the ribs moving as you breathe, that gentle squeeze as you exhale? If we can always feel the body moving as we breathe, we know that we are in a place of rest and ease, which is really the goal in our yoga practice. And so another deep breath here. Begin to slowly come back, coming up on your hands. This time, could you make your way onto hands and knees? Sitting back towards your heels, let's shift the bolster completely out of your way and come into a kneeling position. Again, feel the reconfiguring of your body. You might just let your head roll in gentle circles. When you're going back, make sure that you're raising your chin up so as not to compress your spine. Make sure that you reverse your circles at some point. And back to center. Take your hands to the backs of your hips and bring your elbows toward each other. This is a subtle one. I just want you to let your sternum, your breastbone, come forward. Collarbone spiraling up and back, elbows toward each other. Turn your head to the right. Feel that stretch across the left chest. Head to the left and to center. Drop your hands. Bring your arms out to either side. Great big inhale. Let's come into eagle with the left arm on top. So you squeeze your elbows down in front of your chest. And maybe your palms come together in front of your forehead. Maybe they don't. But widen the collarbone, shoulder blades down your back. Breathe. Changing arms, sweep them out to either side. Great big inhale. Exhale, right arm on top of left. Squeeze the elbows down, palms come together. Collarbones are wide, shoulder blades down your back. Breathe. Deep exhales. Release your arms. Bring your hands forward. Curl your toes under. Raise up into downward dog, just letting yourself have a good little stretch out. Bend a knee, straighten a knee. Wiggle a little bit. Let your shoulders unwind. Let your elbows be a little soft. Feet stretching. Come up on the balls of your feet and down. Knees are wide. Stretch your left hand to the center of your mat, right wrist on top. Push back into a version of child's pose where your wrists are crossed. You just feel that in the kidneys. Knees nice and wide. Rounding up, thread your right arm under your left. Sit down on the right shoulder, back towards your heels. Threading the right arm through. Breathe into the backs of your lungs. Take your left hand down in front of your chest. Thread that right arm just a little bit further. And then bend your right elbow, the palm sticking up toward the sky. Feel the outside of your upper arm and shoulder in the ground, just right hand up to sky. Maybe you could press your elbow a little bit further even. You might find some tremors shaking in your arm, the fascia unwinding. Now, can you place your left hand into your right hand, pushing the hands together somewhere by your left chest? Elbows reaching out. Clear the way across your heart. Slowly we release back. Coming onto hands and knees, right hand forward and centered. The left wrist crosses on top of your right. Sit back towards your heels and push your fingers away. Squeeze those ribs down. Rounding up, thread your left arm through, sit back towards your heels in a version of thread the needle. With your right arm still above your head, you can get this nice rotation through the ribs, rolling right shoulder up and left shoulder through. Breathe. Take that left arm just a little further forward again. Bend your right elbow, the palm. Sorry, that's the left elbow. Bend your left elbow, the palm of your hand sticking up toward the sky. Push the outside of that arm, and could you take that elbow a little further forward still? That left palm pushing up, feel maybe some tremors in your upper arm. Palm facing up. Bring your right hand into your left hand. Elbows away from each other. Let's get those collarbones to spiral open. Shoulder blades down your back. Breathe long through the bones. Beautifully done. Let's slowly release that. Come back up onto your hands. Sit back in a wide-kneed kneeling position. Gather in. Coming forward, bring your knees in. Step your hands forward, really far forward. Your hips are above your knees. Press your shin bones down. Stick your tailbone up in the air above your knees, shoulder blades away from ears. Bring your triceps toward the floor, your chest toward the floor in puppy. Really extend your arms, your fingers, and your hands. Rounding up, walk your hands in. Sit back toward a version of child's pose. Fingers reach away. Round up when you're ready. Cat pose. Curl the tailbone under. Bring your thighs forward. Hands are pretty far forward for this. You're going to roll slowly up through your spine. Thighs come down. Raise your head up in cobra. Arms pretty straight. Really let your chest open. And then slowly come back into downward dog. Walk your feet slowly in towards your hands. About halfway along would be great. Slide your hands towards your feet in Uttanasana. Just really let your spine go as you anchor down through the soles of your feet. Hold your elbows past your head. Feel that stretch again into that central area at the lower blades that we've been working so deeply. Releasing your hands, swing them over to the right side of your mat. Breathe. Over to the left side of your mat. Feel your legs elongate. Breathe. Back to center. Could you widen your feet a little bit? Can you sit your bum down as you bend your knees? Come toward a squat. I don't care if your heels are up or down. It's always different for me every day. But what about bringing your hands to your heart in prayer position as you squat? And just breathe. We're going to lie on our backs, resting over the bolster under head and heart and spine. Let your left knee open to the side. Let your right knee open to the side. Stretch your arms to the sky, palms together. The thumbs in the breastbone, the index fingers at the notch of the collarbones. And breathe into that, feeling your collarbones widen. Your shoulder blades come down your back. The legs are externally rotating. Your brow is unfurrowing, stimulating your heart chakra as well as Vishuddha, your throat chakra, so that we might all speak from the heart. Let your teeth unclench. When you release your arms, let your knees go up and let your feet step wide on the mat. Could your knees tumble side to side a few times just to let your low back unwind? Feel the stretch through the front of the abdomen, from the quads as well. And then when you do come back to center, walk your feet in. We're going to tuck those right toes behind the left heel and the right knee opens. Then open your left knee as well. It's like a simple seated position, really. Put your arms up to the sky, prayer position. Again, swiveling at the wrists. This time, bring your index fingers in between the breast and the sternum. So, a stronger stretch for carpal tunnel folks, pressing the heels of your hands together, collarbones wide, shoulder blades down from your ears. And breathe. Let your arms release when you're ready. Rub your hands together, create some warmth there between your palms. Head gently rolling side to side. Bring your hands over your eyes. Let the warmth penetrate into your eyes. Let your legs extend down your mat, toes falling wide. Let your eyes breathe. Healing energy from your hands. Let the arms tumble down, palms up. Breathe. Take time here in Shavasana to regroup, to digest, to process, to transform. This is your time. I am so honored to have shared time with you today. Thank you for creating peace. Om Shanti. Namaste.